Ben.
Still amazing.
And welcome back to our little Bulgarian adventure.
Well, we said last week it was a heat wave. We weren't joking.
It's been over 30 every day.
It's been very, very hot. We usually get this in July and August. It's come a little bit early this year.
Yes.
So.
No, we have had a thunderstorm thrown in there.
Oh yes, Monday we had a terrific thunderstorm, which lasted for about an hour. And it was one of those situations where all you could see out the window was lightning.
Yes,
so,
for quite a long time.
Yeah.
We had a bit of cloud then, but that was say 9 o'clock at night, and during the day it's still been really hot.
And we have had rain overnight as well, which of course encourages the growth. So.
Just as you get on top of the streaming, it starts again.
But last week we had an enjoyable weekend of just relaxing, doing things we like to do.
Yeah, went to see some friends and had a nice time there.
And yeah, just generally really enjoyed ourselves.
We did.
And then back to work on Monday.
Yes.
Well, I say back to work. You know what I mean. We did say we were going to start our summer kitchen. Preparations had been made. Well, we did start it. This is what we've done this week. Well, we're ready to start actual working on our summer kitchen area. And what we're going to do first of all is clear this area and lay a level pad of concrete so that we can then build our summer kitchen on top of it. Max and I shifted the sand and the gravel that was outside the gate up here ready for mixing the cement. Now, you may think, why didn't we just bring it up when we were mixing the cement rather than move it as a separate job? Well, I've got more gravel being delivered. And I didn't want that dumped on top of the sand and gravel outside the gate. So we had to clear that area first so that I could get the gravel, which I'm going to need for making the concrete. I also need the rebar. There's other bits and pieces I've got to get from the builder's yard. But first things first, let's prepare the site. It's currently just gone 7 in the morning. For the next 3 hours, I've got cool enough temperatures to do physical work. After that, it all gets a bit hot, up to sort of 30 degrees, at which point I don't work very well. So we've got to get as much done as we can, as early as we can. Once again, this isn't gardening, this is construction. I need a clear site before I can start putting the concrete down. So we've cleared all the vegetation off of this area, any bits of mulch and stuff that was still there, so that bit's ready to go. My next 2 jobs are to mark out the corners and remove this pole. Now this was part of our washing line. I've managed to hang the washing line or tension the washing line between the 2 existing poles, which takes this one out of the way. It is cutting off at the bottom and just removing. So I'll do that next, then I'll do the corners. That's the pole removed. The bit in the ground is still slightly proud of the ground, so I'll tidy that up a bit now that I haven't got the weight of the pole above it. But that would just be concreted over, filled in with concrete, and you wouldn't even know it was there if you hadn't seen this video. So I've now got the 4 corners staked out with rebar, and I've tied this piece of green string at the same height all the way around. It's all been measured level with the spirit level. It shows me how deep the formers need to be in which areas for me to be able to pour the concrete. So my next job is to start cutting formers and putting them around the outside, ready for the concrete laying. So you can now see we've got all the formers in place around the edges. Then my next job is to take the poles out. I'm going to put brackets on each corner to strengthen those up. This here is a straight bit of metal box section, which I've been using to test just how much depth I've got of concrete before it comes level. We'll also use this for levelling out the concrete. But it shows that I haven't got to take any, this is about the narrowest, and there's a good 2.5 inches there, or 5 to 6, maybe 7 centimetres before we hit the earth, so that's okay. I'll just concrete straight on top of that. So take out the poles, bracket the corners, then I can put the rebar in and we're ready to lay concrete. So it's now 6:45 in the morning. We've set up, we've got the cement mixer, we've got all the cement, the sand, the gravel, the rebar's in place, the formers are in place, ready to go. All we've got to do now, mix it and pour it. And there it is. It took a little longer than we were expecting. We were hoping to beat the sun, which we didn't manage to do. It's been hot going, but our pad is now poured, levelled. I've watered it down and I'm about to cover it in tarp to keep some of the moisture in and the heat off to stop it cracking. But that's probably the flattest one I've done. It's not perfect, but it's certainly good enough. So we'll leave that there for now, let it dry up, and we can carry on with this next week.
Yes, we would have left it a little bit longer because the weather was so hot, but looking at our forecast going forward, it's only getting hotter.
Yeah,
so
it's not cooling down anytime soon.
And I think today was the coolest day at 30 that we're due for the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
So.
Now I've been getting up, as I said in the video, getting up early to get out there before it gets too hot.
Yeah, Adam's changed your routine. It's really quite amazing.
I was up at 5:30 this morning. Good grief. Thinking we'll beat the sun, and then showing the video, we didn't.
No, you still did quite good. We did it in quite a good time. It's quite a big slab, isn't it?
It's a big slab.
Was it 4 metres nearly?
Just under 4 by just under 3.
Yeah.
It was 12.5 bags of cement and then associated sand and aggregate. So it was 25 loads in the cement mixer. So.
And we didn't start mixing till 7:30 because of didn't want to make too much noise. Not that we really got anybody to disturb, but we just thought be on the safe side.
And perfecting our system again.
Yeah.
I say perfecting.
And we finished it by 11:30. So between the three of us, I mean, we've got the cement mixer, but there's still quite a lot of moving stuff around and getting stuff from A to B.
Oh yeah, you don't realise how much you miss pre-mixed concrete until you haven't got it.
Yeah.
But it's gone well.
It's gone down all right.
Yeah.
And it's done.
It is, thank goodness.
So you're feeling quite proud of yourself now.
It's the bit I was dreading.
Yeah.
The fun bit starts now, once it's dry, building on top of it. So
Yeah.
we'll have a kitchen in no
I somehow doubt that.
We'll see.
But yes, so that was our main job we did this week.
It was, yes.
But you did another little job, which has bearing to your mother coming to visit us in October.
It has, yes. As you know, last year it was disappointing in terms of fruit production and walnuts. Well, this year the trees are loaded, absolutely loaded with walnuts. My mum and my auntie Irene love pickled walnuts, so we thought, well, we've got walnuts, let's pickle them. This is what we did. If you've been following us from the very beginning, you'll know the first year we had hundreds of walnuts. Last couple of years it's been a bit disappointing, but this year it looks like we're going to have thousands again. So what we've decided to do is start making use of them from the word go. Now, my mum, my auntie Irene both love pickled walnuts. I've never had them. I've never seen them in the shops over here. If you're in the UK, you can get them in Morrison's. What we're going to do, make our own. To pickle walnuts, you have to get them before the shell hardens up inside. So what you want to do is, this time of year, June through to early July, depending on where you are, they should be about ready for harvesting. The size you want is probably this sort of size. You can see my thumb there. It's a bit bigger than my thumb. That's the perfect size. Now I'm wearing gloves because the dye that's inside the skin will dye your hands, dye your clothes, dye everything. So you've got to be really careful. Now there is a test you can do to see if the walnut shell is hardened or if you can actually pickle them. Now let's get a cocktail stick and push it in. And if it goes all the way through like that, then you can use them. So we've picked enough walnuts now, we think, for around about 2 jars. Now these need to be pricked, topped and tailed, and then covered in brine. Quite a simple process, again with the gloves, because like I said earlier, this will stain your hands, or your cat if your cat comes to join you, so be careful. So just make holes in it, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to prick them first, then I'm going to top and tail them. Once again, you can see that I'm not being left to my own devices. The cats are more than happy to keep me company, even if they're not really paying attention. And now we top and tail them, so we're basically just taking the very ends off. We need a sharp knife for this. And I'm going to put those in the colander, and these bits, see, you can already see my hands are being stained. This is what you want to avoid getting on you, your hands, your clothes, your cats. So that's the walnuts pricked, topped and tailed. You can see the bits of the tray there which came off the ends are already going that familiar walnut colour. As the air gets to them, it kind of almost activates the dye, which makes them darken in colour. This is why when you end up with pickled walnuts, they're almost completely black. But you can see with the pickled walnuts where they've been pricked, they're also beginning to discolour. The next thing we have to do is get the brine and cover our walnuts. The next stage is to put the walnuts into brine. Now you can do this in any container, but it will stain the container unless it's something like glass, which doesn't stain. If you're doing it in plastic, make sure it's a bowl you can afford to throw away at the end, because you will never get the stain out. But what we do at this point is we put our walnuts into our container, and our brine then gets poured over the top. Now this brine is 500 millilitres of water with 100 grams of salt in it. Now we may have to make up a little bit more just to cover them. Once we've done that, we put a plate or a tray over the top, put it in a cool place, and then just leave it for a week. I'm just going to stir the walnuts, make sure they all get a bit of a covering now they've just got the brine on. You can see already the colour coming out of the walnuts into the water. Over the course of the coming week, this water will go black. What we do now is, now that they've all nicely covered, we put something over this top to stop evaporation, like a plate or something like that, or a tray. It goes into our cellar in a coolish place. On day 2, I'll go down and give them a stir, make sure the ones at the top go down to the bottom, ones at the bottom come to the top, make sure they all get properly brined, and then we'll come back to them next week and see how we're getting along.
So neither of us have ever tasted pickled walnuts, so we're not sure if we like them or not, but we know that your mother does. So,
yeah. So if we don't like them, we know we can give them away.
Come in October.
If anybody else wants to try pickling their own walnuts, it's really easy, but wear your gloves.
Yeah, definitely wear gloves. The
wear your old clothes.
Dreadful.
Keep your cats out of the way.
That won't happen.
But yeah, they're very interested, but this stuff stains, so
yeah,
be careful.
Yeah, so after that we're going to probably have a couple of days off for the weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe go to a market or two.
Yes, Max is keen to go to Hitrino.
Yeah,
Hitrino. Get it right. Hitrino. But he's very keen to go there anyway.
Yeah.
However you say it.
So we nearly went last Sunday, but then didn't. But we probably will go this Sunday.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe get some more cream. But yes, if we can take some footage of that, we will.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how different markets have different stuff.
My favourite one I've found so far.
It's only fair we show you.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for us this week.
I think it is. So until next week, it's time to say,
stay safe.
Be well.
Doskoro.
Doskoro. So yeah, I think that's probably about it for this week.
Yes, just up to us to say.
We'll do that again because I messed it up and you messed it up. I was thinking, can I get away with that?
No.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So yes, I think that's probably about it from us this week.
Yeah, just all that's left to say. I'll start.
Okay.
I think that's about it for us this week.
I believe it is. Now I'm doing it. Okay. I can speak. English is my first language. We finally managed to finish the video. Woohoo!
Third attempt. We should have ridiculous. We should have that down pat now.